Hey, this is Paul Lent here at 7630 Founders Way. Well, today is a milestone. We're at a big turning point starting tomorrow. I'll fill you in on that here in a minute, but it's been a long journey. We started this project in late July. I'm grateful, especially in today's construction environment, that I've got a lot of deep relationships with mechanical contractors, plumbing, electrician, drywall, to name a few. And these guys have really stepped up. This has been a very challenging, very large project. A lot of things we didn't know about when we started this job. When we got into demolition, if you look back at some of the earlier videos, we found a lot of WDO damage, which meant a lot of headers and windowsills, and a few exterior 2x6s had to be replaced. And then, fortunately, again, using a reliable plumber and having done several dozens of these old homes, we had the foresight to put a camera down the sewer system, and unfortunately, it was shot. We had a huge lull in the sewer between the house and the street. And that's the reason why this whole area here is all dug up. Should have taken some video yesterday, but we redid the entire sewer coming out of the house here. There's actually two sewer lines, but now it's right and there's no lull. So we 45'd it here and then went out to the street out there. That was a big job all day yesterday. And while we were at it, we had to end up doing and replacing all of the water supply here. So we ended up just tearing it all apart, pulled up the driveway earlier than I wanted to be able to get into the water meter, but now that's done and it is right. There was also several large trees that we took out here, and instead of grinding stumps, which is the most economical way to do it, I actually hired the company and paid extra for both the front yard and the backyard. I think there's some video or photo footage of that from about a month ago, to come in and dig out those stumps. Why do that? Well, those big tree stumps are just going to rot. If you put a walking path to your front door, or in the case in the backyard where there's plans for a pool, an outdoor living area, it's just going to, cut corners. And that's not what you want to do when you're making this kind of capital investment to update a home and bring it up to today's design standards, construction standards, etc. So we went ahead and, bit the bullet, paid extra, and I think we'll be glad that we did that in the long run. So I'll just come back real quick. So this is the backyard. It's all dug up. That's where a lot of those large trees were. Nothing back there that we had to do in terms of plumbing and so forth. But we've completely redone all the air conditioning systems throughout this house, reran the copper. It's been completely rewired. There's going to be a new electric panel and sub panel here. We used to have a 200 amp service coming in the meter, which was fairly common back in the day, which was here. It was inadequate, so we upgraded. Had to rerun the entire conduit from the utility company out of the meter, and then we ended up putting in a new 300 amp service here. Where is it? There it is, right there. And it also has another sub panel in it, so that that'll make it easy to tie in the pool. And there's also some thinking going on right now about adding another mother-in-law suite in the back. So I'm going to walk inside here and just kind of pan around. I've been in here now working for about the last 4 hours. Why? I'm cleaning up. Typically, I've got 3 or 4 men that I can call and have them do this type of work. But today, where are we? I think the 2nd of November. Nobody seems to want to work. That's the overall theme, the overall arching theme. So I've been in here sweeping up and vacuuming, all the studs and everything, just to get all this dust out of the house. It's going to be behind the drywall. Yes, some people say, why would you bother doing that? But, at the end of the day, you want a quality product. You got to go the extra mile. I mean, there was just a ton of debris underneath here. That's the stairs, but not anymore. It's all gone. It's all been vacuumed up, crystal clean, spotless. And, so goes through the rest of the house. And that's, really about being a good quality product versus just kind of slamming some things up. Just because people can't see it doesn't mean you don't want to clean it. Doesn't mean you don't want to build it right. So it's been a long road. What you have behind me is, I think we got somewhere around 178 board count for this whole house. You know, we've got lids, we've got walls. We went ahead and since we pulled this whole house apart, we went ahead and borate treated all of the perimeter of the house for termite protection. It's a poison. Essentially, if they eat that, they die from the inside, which is a good thing because there was quite a bit of termite damage in this house. We relocated the air system here. If you look back at some of the earlier videos, they had it really haphazardly stuck here. Closet came all the way out almost to the middle of the room, and it made the walkway to that back bathroom completely, you know, useless. It was ridiculous. And the big changes in this house are the master. You know, if you look back at some of the earlier video, we changed the entry for the bathroom. It's got a large cased opening. There's going to be a custom barn door here that'll be in the open position. And then you want to close it if you want privacy in the bathroom. But the whole concept here is we came up with a his and her side. You know, so his vanity, his closet, which is a addition, the closet, we took some of the master bedroom space and made this walk-in closet. We're having a company come up with a bunch of CAD design for custom closets throughout the house. And then on the flip side of this bathroom, we have the her side. So her vanity, her closet, which is going to be much larger, and you know, a ton of hi-hats. Well, I still call them hi-hats because I'm old school, but recessed can lights. I believe now we're up to 128 recessed can lights throughout the whole house. You know, it'll all be LED, the latest and greatest of new technology. But this is the master bedroom. We added a fireplace. There's some built-ins, custom built-ins on both sides. Some sconce lighting that we put above that, so it'll be really cool. And all new exterior doors from Pella, which I'm keeping my fingers crossed will be here on time. I'll walk up to the front. I'm not going to go to the second floor, but you know, this has all been gutted. If this is the first time you're seeing this video, you can look back at some of the earlier ones if you are intrigued. But you know, this is what it takes to renovate a house that was built in the 80s, mid 80s, and bring it up to today's standard. You know, you just can't replumb it correctly and rewire it, you know, trying to fish things behind the walls. It just doesn't work out. So we took all of this drywall off. I'm here in the Jack and Jill bath between the two front bedrooms. You know, pulled the old tub, put in a new tub. You know, replumbed this whole bathroom. And then the same thing here. What's opened up over here is a bunch of WDO damage. Wood destroying organism is what that stands for if you're not familiar with the abbreviation. And then we redid the whole closets in here. We made both bedroom closets identical just for some uniformity. And that's, you know, that's about it, at least for now. So the drywall crews probably got 2 weeks because they've got to come in here and cut in. You know, we had a lot of places, for example, here where we moved around some can lights, so that hole has to get covered up because it wasn't in the right location. We moved it to there so that it was in line with the recessed can lights on the other side. You know, that's just what's necessary. But in any event, thanks for tuning in. I know this was probably a little bit of a longer video, but I just kind of wanted to go over some things. Oh, by the way, here's one other thing that was kind of a surprise. Two things. You know, when we came, this room was a addition in 2006. Unfortunately, the contractor took a shortcut. He put the stem wall in. He had, you know, his crew come and dump a bunch of dirt in here, but they didn't mechanically tap it down with a machine that is intended to compress the soil before they poured this concrete slab. Well, when we opened up the slab here to redo the plumbing, and I've got some footage of the guys that were here drilling and doing all this work, the dirt was 4 inches below the slab. So it was inevitable that this slab was going to eventually fail, crack, and we wouldn't want that to happen after we've completely redone this, put in a lot of extra weight, because this is going to all be cabinetry, refrigerators, wine coolers, you know, full. It's going to be a back kitchen or a second kitchen, if you would. Can you imagine having to contend with that type of damage after you've spent thousands of dollars building a back kitchen? So we went ahead and hired a company to come out. They injected a foam product to raise the slab and give it the support underneath. with warranties and all that work, etc. The other thing that we had to do is, whoever the electrician was that ran this wire, when they converted this covered outdoor patio to an indoor sunroom, which is a great room, it's got an awesome view, one of my favorite rooms in this house. Well, the electrician just fished the wire down underneath the baseboards, totally not the code, definitely a safety hazard. So we had to fur out, that's why you see all these furring strips throughout this room. We had to fur out the entire room and run the wire correctly behind the stud with our shields for our outlets to code in this room. That was about a 1.5-day project and thousands of dollars, but this is what you run into when you renovate an older house. You don't know what you're going to get into, and you have two options. You can kind of hold your nose and look the other way and just make it kind of disappear, but you've got safety issues, you've got a variety of other problems with that, or you can tear it apart, make the investment, and spend the money to do it right, which is what my philosophy is. So it took a lot more time. I had to beg and plead with my contractors to stay on the job because they had other jobs lined up. But again, this is where having relationships with contractors since I started in Northeast Florida 2007 really came in to be a big advantage. So my hat's off to all my contractors who have gotten us up to this point, and also my drywall company who really stepped up, because this is not an easy job to drywall. So that starts tomorrow. Keep my fingers crossed that everybody shows up. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned. We got some more stuff coming.